Hello and welcome to our next video. In this video we are looking how to implement bullets into our game we are developing using classes, sprites and detecting collisions. Okay, so basically we are going to continue on from where we had in our last video with blocks that we are falling down and a playable character, except now we're going to do it so our playable character is only moving along the bottom and we are basically using bullets to fire up to remove the blocks. Okay, and as the blocks collide, as the bullets collide with the blocks, they are removed. We'll also limit it so we've got a limited number of bullets we can fire, and we have to wait for them to disappear. Okay, so basic bullets being implemented. So the template code I'm giving you to start with is the same code that we finished off last time, and that is basically with all the basics to start: importing Pygame, our colors, our block class that we created, which is a basic sprite with a size, and we've got an update here which moves it falling down the screen. And then do you remember we extended the block class, so it inherits the block class to create a player class, which this one moves with the mouse. It uses the mouse position to set the X and Y positions of the object. Okay, so this one's overriding the block class to use the mouse pointer. And then we've got lists for our blocks, our sprites, for creating the random blocks, 50 random blocks in the room, creating our player sprite, and then within our main loop we've got it here where we are detecting the collision between the player and any block in the block list, and it removes it and adds to our score. So that's our basic game so far. Okay, so what do we need to do? Well, at the moment we've got classes for a block and we've got classes for a player, but now we want to add another class for the bullet. So the first thing we're going to do, just under our classes here, so we'll keep them all together, is we're going to make a new class called class bullet. Okay, and we're going to import again the sprite library. So sprite here, or the sprite classes, so it's picking up all the sprites objects that already exist to use that. We're going to initiate it, or init the class. So when a bullet is initiated, self, okay, we are going to call the parent class, the parent sprite class, so we can basically start it up. So pygame.sprite init. That is going to initiate the sprite class that we need to use sprites within our game for the bullet. Okay, then we are going to create a black 4x10 sprite block for our bullet. So this one's going to be a slightly different shape. Self.image equals pygame.surface, similar to what we've done before, but this time the size of it is going to be 4 wide, so quite thin, by 10 high. So we are bullet shaped and it's going to be firing upwards. Then we are going to fill it with a color, and I'm just going to use black because our bullet's going to be black. You could do different color bullets though if you wanted to. And self.rect equals self.image.getRect. So basically this is setting up and creating our bullets to use in the game. And the size, the color, and then initiating it as a rectangle. Okay, so that's our initiation of a bullet. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to do it so it updates the bullets as the bullets are moving. So we're going to create an update method that's going to move the bullets, move bullet by 5 pixels. So just a comment. How do we do that? Self.rect.y. So we're moving the y position of the bullet by minus equals 5. So basically it's going to take away 5 from the y position, which would move it upwards vertically. Okay, vertically with the bullets. There is our basic bullet class ready to use. Okay, the next thing we need to do is actually put it into the game. So how are we going to do that? Well, all the other things, we've got block lists and we've got sprite lists. So to make it easy to use, we're going to add another list here for the bullets. So I'm going to do create bullet list. Bullet list, and this is just a list. just the same as the other ones, list equals pygame.sprite.group. It's going to score out a group of all the bullets that we are creating. Okay. So we've got a bullet class, we've got a bullet list ready to use, but at the moment we've got nothing to create the bullets. When do we want the bullets to actually be created? Well, we're going to use the mouse button, clicking on the mouse button down to create a bullet and fire it. So to do that, we're going to go back into our main loop down here. And look, we've already got one event here being detected for pressing quit on the keyboard. So we've already got events being detected. We need to do our next event. So at the moment we've got if event type equals quit, do this. We're now going to do an elif event.type equals pygame.mouse button down. So that is looking for when you hold or press the mouse button down. Okay, it's going to detect when that happens. Okay, so when the user presses the mouse button down, we are going to just tab in. Remember, you're inside this selection here. We're going to create a bullet with the bullet class. So basically making a new instance of the bullet, and we are going to set the position of the bullet, bullet.rect.x, to equal the player's rect.x position. So we're going to create the bullet where the player is, and we do the same with the y position. Bullet.rect.y equals player.rect.y. So that is going to create and set the bullet wherever the player is currently on the screen, the player's block. When it's been created, we're then going to add it to the sprites list, all sprites list, just in case we need to manipulate it and things like that. So we're going to add the bullet to the sprites list, and we're going to also add it to its own list, bullet_list.add bullet. So remember, we do this, we add it to two lists, one for its own list so we can just control the bullets and do things to the bullets. We could destroy all the bullets if we wanted to, and one so we can update all the sprites in one go on the screen. So we've added them to both lists. Okay, so we've created a bullet, we've set its position, and we've added it to the two lists. So all this is to do with creating a bullet. So this is a good stage to test out our game and see what it does so far. So if I run my game so far, you'll notice I've still got falling blocks here. I've still got my one I can move around with my mouse. But if I click now, you should see bullet objects being created from the position of wherever your player is. Okay, and they're flying. And there's no limit to them. I can do as many as I want here. Okay. But also notice the bullets are going straight through the other objects. There's no collision taking place at the moment. Okay. So we've got bullet objects being created, but nothing actually happening yet. So at the moment, if you scroll down a little bit from where we are with this bullet being created, this is what we've currently got for collision. At the moment, we've got it so if the player object collides with any block in the list, it will get rid of it. So at the moment, we've only got one player that can collide with the blocks. But remember, we're going to change it now so we're going to have lots of different bullets. So we're going to keep this, but we're going to change it slightly. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a bit of a loop in here. And we're going to say, oops, so make sure you're in line with the rest here. For bullet in bullet list, like that. Basically, that's going to check every bullet inside the bullet list to see if it's collided. Then we're going to indent this block here so it's inside this loop. So basically, it's going to check through every bullet, and for every bullet, it's going to check if it's collided. Okay. However, we do need to make one little modification here too. We need to change it so that it's the bullet that collides instead of the player. So bullet collides with any block. Okay. If it collides with it, we are then going to remove the bullet from the bullet list, and we're also going to remove it from the all sprites list, just like we have done before. Okay, bullet list dot remove bullet. So So we're removing the bullets from the list once it's collided. Otherwise, the bullets will continue on with the screen. So let's see what happens now. If I run this, we've got our bullets here being fired, and when they collide with the blocks, you can see the block is resetting like it did before, but the bullet is also now being removed as well. Okay, I can fire lots of bullets at the moment like this, and I can basically spam and shoot everything here. Okay, crazy time. Get rid of it. Okay. So we've got working bullets that we can fire, and they collide and remove the blocks. Good progress. So one problem we've got at the moment is if I run this, you'll see our bullets are created fine, and some of them may get destroyed as they hit a block, but most of them are going to continue on off the screen at the top here eventually. Okay. Now, although we can't see the bullets anymore once they go off the screen, those bullets are actually continuing to fly on forever into the ether past the screen. Minus 10, minus 100, minus 200, minus 1000. They're going to keep going on forever pretty much. Okay, and at the moment it's still running quite smoothly, but over time, as more and more bullets go off the screen, the computer is going to start to lag because it's having to remember all those bullets. We need to change it so when the bullet goes past the screen, the bullet is deleted. So in our code, we're going to go here, inside our loop here, inside our 4 bullet loop here, so in line with this 4 down here. I'm just going to tab in so we are in the right line, so there. We're going to add a piece of code to check the position. Make sure I'm just on the right line here, down. Here we go. So we're going to say if bullet.rect.y, so that if the y position of the bullet is less than minus 10. So basically, has the bullet gone beyond the screen by over 10? Okay. Then we're going to say bullet list.remove bullet. So we're going to remove it from the bullet list, and we're also going to remove it from the all sprites list. All sprites list.remove bullet. So it's going to remove it from both the lists once it has gone past the screen. So now if I run this, it won't actually look any different really, but once the bullets have left the screen, they are immediately removed, which will help with lag and other things in time. Okay, you wouldn't want thousands of different bullets keep going on having to be remembered, so that now removes them. Okay, so we've got bullets that fire, we've got all that, which is great, but at the moment we've got an infinite supply of bullets. They just go on forever. So what we need to do instead, we're going to add some code that's going to limit how many bullets can be fired at one go, just like real shooting games. Okay. To do that, we need to keep track of how many bullets are being fired, or how many bullets have been fired. And we are going to use the bullet list and a variable to do that. So if we go just before the while loop, we're going to add a little variable here that is called bullet count. Bullet underscore count. And I'm going to set it to 5. I'm going to say I can only have 5 bullets at a time. So bullet count maximum is 5. Okay. Then what we're going to do inside our loop now you can put this pretty much anywhere in the main loop. Okay. I'm going to put it in the top here just because it's easy to understand when I'm explaining, but really it should go down with all the logic down here. Okay. We're going to say that bullet count equals 5 minus the length of the bullet list. So what it's going to do, it's going to take 5 and then minus however many bullets are in the bullet list. So it's going to keep a running total of how many bullets left that you can fire. So if you fire a bullet, it's going to go from 5 to 4, and 5 to 3, 5 to 2, and it's going to keep track of how many bullets are left. And obviously when you get to 0, we don't want to be able to fire any more bullets. Okay, so as you're firing, that bullet count is going to keep track. Okay, in fact, let's just prove it works. If we go print, I'm going to go bullets left, and then if we go bullet count, just to prove it works, if I run it now, as I fire, we can see bullets left 5, and as I fire 4, 3, 2, 1, and as the bullets disappear, the bullet count goes up again, back to 5 again. Okay? But you'll notice at the moment I can go into negative bullets here. I can fire as many as I want at the moment, and they gradually replenish themselves. So what we want to do is stop it being able to fire bullets when you get to 0. So how do we do that? Very simple. Inside your code here that's creating the bullets here, where we're creating the bullets, we're going to use that bullet count. Okay, so I'm going to go if a bullet count is greater than 0, it will allow us to fire a bullet, indent it like that. So it will allow us to create a new bullet if the bullet count is greater than 0. As soon as the bullet count gets to 0, it won't allow us to run this code here. So we've got a simple selection statement here to check how many bullets are left, and as long as it's more than 0, you can fire a bullet. Otherwise, you will not be able to. Just to prove that works again, if I fire 5 bullets, bullet count left is 0, and then as soon as the bullets disappear, look, the bullet count goes up, I can fire more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stops, and then replenishes again, okay? So we can now control how many bullets we can fire. And you can do 10 bullets if you want to, things like that. And now I know that works, I'm going to get rid of that annoying message popping up on the screen constantly as well. So the final thing we're going to do on this, at the moment, we can free move our cursor around the screen, like I can go wherever I want and fire the bullets. Now, to make it a bit more like a classic game of Space Invaders and things, we're going to do it so the cursor can only move along the bottom rather than going anywhere on the screen. Okay. Now all we've got to do is a small tweak to what we've already done. If we go up in our code up here, up to the player object that we created, the player class, which is here, at the moment the X and the Y position is being set to the position of our mouse. So instead of this, we're going to change it so the X position is being used as our mouse to move it left and right, but the Y position we're going to fix to 460, which is basically the bottom of the screen. Now, if we run it, I can still move left and right with the axes with the mouse, but the Y position is being fixed to the bottom of the screen. Okay, so it doesn't matter where I move my mouse, I can only stay at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so that is your basic game that now works. I can shoot blocks, get rid of them, and limited how many bullets we can fire, which is good. Okay, for today's challenge, nice easy one. All I want to do is use that bullet count and some text and see if you can display how many bullets you currently have left available on the screen. Okay, a bit like you would have in a heads-up display or a HUD in a game. They might see how many bullets you've got for ammo and things. I want to use the variable you've got there, some text, and blitz it to the screen with a variable so we can keep track of how many bullets you've got left. There's your challenge. See if you can do that. Good luck.